Now, before we get into like the conversation of Doom, I want to say, so I watched Dune Part 1 yesterday and watched Dune Part 2 today. And this is my first Dune. I've never read the books and I've never watched the old shows. And I had to do homework to understand what was going on in these fucking movies. Like after the first one, I talked to you guys in the DM room, and then I read a couple Wikipedia pages and stuff. This guy, he hates dialogue, but he might have needed to put a little bit more of that into these movies because
to explain what the hell's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot he does not explain very well.
Well, yeah, that's Denny's fault. Yeah.
Yeah, when you really break it down, it's really easy. It's just Game of Thrones in space. This royal family is fighting over this one commodity. It's like oil, but it's spice. Spice makes us.
They explain that.
Yeah,
that's how they do the hyperspace is with the spice.
It's like the ultimate oil and medicine mixed together.
And medicine, yeah.
That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Is power.
What you have is a
drug, man. You're like, ooh, you get addicted to this.
It's a drug, but it doesn't have any side effects. Really, is basically what they try to say.
Well, except for the blue eyes.
Well, it's apparently
which we're going to talk about.
But it prolongs like all the side effects are positive things, like it prolongs life.
We wouldn't want like beautiful, glowing blue eyes. I would.
That's kind of where, even though I liked, Christopher Walken in this, they kind of casted him wrong because the Emperor is supposed to be somebody who's 200 years old with the body of like a 30-year-old.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be a lot younger, like stamina wise and everything. And freaking Christopher Walken looked like he was like Biden. I was like, what the is going on with the Emperor, man? He's like old and decrepit.
I mean, clearly he's he's feeble and powerless already. It's like, what else does Paul got to do to take away his power?
Well, let's be real though. You get a chance to put Christopher Walken in your movie.
Yeah.
You put Christopher Walken in the movie.
Oh, absolutely. I'm
okay with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the least of the problems. I mean, but yeah.
But as a thing, general overall, like I liked the movies. I thought they were visually some of the best movies I've ever seen. Like they're
for sure.
stunning,
beautiful
in their visual department, especially in the second movie where they have that knife fight on that planet. That was beautiful. Like one, it looked like a shadow boxing scene. Like at one point where they're close up, like
compare
it almost looked two-dimensional.
Compare that to anything in the new Star Wars movies.
Like,
so much
anything
more
in the MCU. I mean,
but I think judging the conversation though that people were having in the FlashCast room, I feel like so it seems like I'm in the minority here because I don't think you guys like this movie.
No way, you're no. The majority of people like it. I mean,
I have mixed feelings.
I'm talking people on the panel. Don't seem
you're in
to care for it very much.
I jumped the gun to get everybody attention in the chat. It is a very beautiful movie, but at the same time, if you read the books, if you understand the lore, you will understand Zendaya's character. She's not like that in the book, and the things that she did in this movie is not in the books and in the lore. Slapping him up, not kneeling.
The books are dated, Fatal. They're dated. Okay.
The story is lacking in these movies, and that seems to be a loss here because the books seem pretty dense and full of a lot of lore and story. Like I had no idea the reason. So the reason that they don't use computers is because there was an AI war. Like there's no computers in this world, but they have
the machines actually
trail.
Turned on them is what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've trained themselves how to do the same jobs that a computer would do. That's what the mentats are. But no, I mean, visually it's stunning and it's mostly cast really well. I would still say I personally prefer the design of the Lynch Dune. I think he nailed more of the design there, but
really,
I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, because he actually they paid a lot of attention to things.
Well, I actually wait. I meant more the other one, the 80s one.
Yeah, because
that's what he's talking about. The 80s one.
No, I meant the 80s sci-fi series is what I meant.
The sci-fi series is great as far as the story. The problem is it feels like we're putting on a play. Right. Like you can tell it's all shot on stages, and the second
budget
one
was not great.
Yeah. But Tom, like Nina said, that budget. But for me, knowing the books, nothing is touching the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh,
Dune.
they are
Oh, no.
freaking
Agreed.
good, man.
Agreed.
But they had
And-
the time to play it out. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And what I know,
yeah.
I say this real quick, talk. I know you're going in. What I like about the Sci-Fi Dune is they make it digestible for people who don't know Dune. It's very easy to get into that world. I think this Dune series, the two Dune movies, it was so hard to understand. They made it hard on the storytelling. Tom, you got it now.
Well, I was just gonna say, because in the sci-fi Dune, it's 3 90-minute parts. Denny has used more time than that already in these 2 movies, and he's gotten less than half of what they got in there. And even Lynch in the 2-hour cut that he has, not counting the Spice Diver cut, which is the better cut of the film. It has the original ending and all that kind of stuff on it. Even that he gets more in there in that 3-hour cut. So what is Denny's excuse? I mean, how many times do we need to see the same shot of Zendaya looking at the camera over her shoulder? Like, we have seen that shot 560 times in these movies.
I think he spends more time on the atmospheric shots.
That's what I'm saying.
And the
Yeah, it's all like
landscapes and stuff like that, which I'm fine with because cinematography wise, I think this movie's magnificent. Like, I think it's incredible looking. But when it comes to story, it's lacking in that sense. And you only get a certain amount of time to tell a story in a movie time limit. And that's why what Tug was saying is very correct, because they had the time to tell the story in the sci-fi Dune. I have a lot of problems with the movie too. I didn't hate it as much as like Fatal did, and I think it has potential to even correct some of the mistakes, quote unquote mistakes. But before we get into it, I'm really curious, Lofty, are you supposed to be like a gay avatar? The Last
I think
Airbender?
he's
Like,
trying
what
to
is
be
going on?
I'm supposed to be Fade Ralph. How does
I think
nobody?
he's trying to be a Harkonnen, but
Yeah, I thought you were like a guy from the Avatar show or something. That's what I
I
thought.
literally thought you were like a gay.
he looks like a
Aang.
gay Harkonnen.
That
Yeah.
could be a concentration.
That's kind of redundant. So
No, it's
That's
Fade
not-
Ralph. It's Austin. Like the people behind me are from the movie. They're the This is the arena that he fights in.
That's another beef. That's
okay.
another
Yeah,
beef I have with this movie series too. They did not look like this in the book. They looked like regular people. The Harkonnens.
well, they looked
They
more
didn't
like
look
they
like-
did in the Lynch Dune, right?
The Lynch Dune.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
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 I liked the white, like pale
Well,
white.
and there is
kinda-
supposed to be that. Well, here's the thing, and spoilers. I don't know if we're getting into a what,
Yeah,
but
are we?
Oh
doing
yeah, just let it
spoilers?
all loose.
like, I mean, there is a
Yeah.
reason why the Harkonnens all have very striking red hair, and so does Lady Jessica. And so
Yeah,
does her
exactly.
daughter. There's a reason for it, obviously, a familial reason. And obviously, it's where George Lucas stole a lot of Dune for not just the first Star Wars, but really for the prequels in the fall of Anakin Skywalker. It's
Mhm.
pretty much all there, right? It's pretty
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
He didn't
because,
Why
steal
your
it. He
father
was
bit and everything.
inspired
Inspired by it,
God.
But I mean, but hey, look, I'll say it. Children of Dune is a much better place where this story is going to go than we know the Star Wars sequels did. But is that where Denny's going with this? Because that's my problem. Is now
No.
we know we're getting Dune Messiah, which is the bridge between the two, but now he's left out so much stuff. Is he going to cover it in Dune Messiah, and how's it going to even factor in there? And to me, that's what ruined the movie for me, because the first half of the movie was brilliant. It was amazing.
great.
And then the moment I realized they're not going to do this time jump, I'm like, wait a minute here. Okay, well, you can still, I guess, do some stuff with this. As soon as we got Chani and her turn, that's when the movie lost me. And
It
we
lost
also
me
got
right there
Chekhov's
too,
baby in this movie. It's like, you can't show somebody pregnant and talk about a baby and not have her have the damn baby. She's a big
Oh my
part of the
God,
story.
I had
like,
a very big problem with
Okay,
that.
and for
because
those who
she's-
don't know, spoilers, Aaliyah almost becomes worse than Paul at
Yes.
one point.
Yes.
So like,
I agree.
yeah,
I
was
had
she
problems
pregnant
with
for
that
10
too.
years or what? Like,
no, it's only supposed to
No,
be taking
it was-
place within 4 to 6 months instead of 2 to 4 years like it does in the book.
It's like less than a year for the rebellion.
Yeah.
In the movie.
No wonder
I
she's
I didn't
not
like
in
the
love with
whole
Paul.
like she's talking to this fetus in her belly and she's like,
like
communicating
part.
with
See, and
her
that's something they
shit. Like, what?
ruined from the book, because in the book the baby's talking to Paul.
Yeah.
See, that's the big difference there, and that's one thing I didn't like either.